Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everybody. Today we'll talk about the Syrian Revolution as case study. This case study was prepared by me, Yaqub Rayyan, and Ishaq al-Wardawil, and Abdul Hadi Shagf. And let us start with an introduction about the Syrian Revolution. This is an introduction about Bashar al-Assad. As you see, Bashar al-Assad was born in Damascus on 11 September 1965. He is the son of Anis and Hafiz al-Assad. In 1088, Bashar al-Assad graduated from medical school and began working as an army doctor in the biggest military hospital. And his father had been grooming Bashar's older brother Basil as the future president. But he never declared this intent. And this means that Bashar al-Assad, Hafiz al-Assad wanted his son Basil to be the future president, but he never declared this intent. And however, Bashar al-Assad was recalled to the Syrian army after Basil's death in a car accident. And he became a colonel in 1999. Colonel means Aqid. And Bashar al-Assad was elected as the president of Syria in 2000 and 2007, unopposed each time. Unopposed means without resistance.
He became a president without any
Initially seen by the domestic and international community as a potential reformer. This expectation ceased when he ordered a mass crackdown and the military siege on protests during the Arab Spring. It means that the domestic and international community protect Bashar al-Assad to be a potential reformer. But he make a tough procedures and military siege. By making that, his expectation ceased, and this became the starting point to the Syrian civil war. And the domestic Syrian opposition and large parts of the wider international community have subsequently called for al-Assad's resignation from power. Resignation means istiqala.
I'm going to talk about the Civil War. Civil War, the Syrian Civil War, following anti-government demonstrations in some other Middle Eastern countries, protests in Syria started on 26th of January 2011. Protesters called for political reforms and the reinstatements of civil rights, as well as the end of a state of emergency which had taken place in the area since 1963. Syrian authority responded with violence against its protesting citizens. On 18th May, US President Barack Obama signed an executive order putting into effect sanctions against Bashar al-Assad in an effort to pressure his government to end its use of violence against the people and begin transitioning to a democratic system than using the violence that protects the rights of the Syrian people. By the end of January 2012, it was reported that over 5,000 civilians and protesters, including militants, had been killed by the Syrian army, militia, or what's called Shabiha in the Syrian population, and security agents, while 1,100 people had been killed by the anti-government forces. On 10th of January 2012, Assad gave a speech in which he accused the uprising of being plotted by foreign countries and claimed that victory was near. Actually, he was really killing people massively, doing destructive, and he used the chemicals weapons, and absolutely he attacked the human rights deeply and greatly. And I don't know which victory was near, or which victory he was talking about. So he's now faking the truth. He's trying to fake the truth and to make it really very clear for what are with his side. Yeah. So public opinion with Ishaq. That's the main part of our study. الصوت.
I will talk about, I think it's the most important part, it's the public opinion. President Assad gave several TV interviews during the Syrian crisis. He had appeared on Syria TV, Adunia TV, Syrian news channels, Russia Today, Russia 24, and the other channels. And we can notice that all these channels were with Al-Assad. So we can notice that he didn't appear like in Arabiya or in Jazeera or in other channels that are maybe in, yes, neutral. On 6th January 2013, President Bashar al-Assad, in his first major speech since June, said that the conflict his country was due to enemies outside of Syria who would go to hell, and that they would be taught a lesson. However, he said that he was still open to political solution, saying that failed attempts at a solution doesn't mean we are not interested in a political solution. In order to promote their image and media portrayal overseas, Bashar al-Assad and his wife Asma al-Assad hired American-based public relation firms and consultants. Notably, these liaised with and secured photo shoots for Asma al-Assad with fashion and celebrity magazines. Firms such as the Bill Buttinger Group, its public relation firm in London, were also hired and helped to advise them on how to shape their image.
This is after what they did and the massacres. They tried to shape their image
Or to
using international firms.
Yes. Here we will focus on celebrities' opinion, which have a big effect on people generally. People who were with Bashar al-Assad, they said that he is a supporter for the Islamic resistance and play a great role against the Israeli occupation. Said that he is the only Arab president who supported Hamas in 2009 war. For example, Dored Laham, Ayman Zidan, Hassan Nasrallah, Ahmadinejad, and Raghda, and other actors and other celebrities and public figures. People who are against Bashar al-Assad that said the opposite, that he is a dictator using his being for Israeli benefits and digest people's rights. Replied on the bruise, they said if he is really with the Islamic resistance, he would have freed Al-Julan. For example, Saad al-Hariri, Mohammed Morsi, the president of Egypt, Hamas, USA and UE, and the only celebrity, the only singer who supported the revolution was Asala. Because we can notice in Syria, especially in Syria, in Egypt, the start with the revolution, we see many celebrities, they were with the revolution. But in Syria, 99 of the celebrities were with Bashar al-Assad.
These recommendations are towards the Syrian system.
نعرض الفيديوز الأول. في عندي 2 videos. Yes.
توجيه الشكر لسويرية الأسد، لسويرية حافظ الأسد، لسويرية بشار الأسد، لسويرية الشعب الأبي الصامت، لسويرية الجيش العربي المقاوم الذي كان معنا وما زال في كل سنوات الدفاع والمقاومة. نحتشد اليوم لنذكر العالم ولنذكر أيضا شركائنا في الوطن أن هذه الساحة التي تجمعنا أو تلك الساحة التي تجمعكم في ساحة الشهداء دمرتها إسرائيل ودمرتها الحروب الداخلية ووحدتها وحفظتها وعمنتها سوريا بدماء ضباطها.
This is Hassan Nasrallah, and he is famous of being with Bashar al-Assad. Yes, Hezbollah. And here is another video.
حتى تنتج أمثال هؤلاء ليدافعوا عنها، وصل إلى درجة يعبر فيها عن أن النظام انتهى وأنه لم يبقى في جعبتهم إلا الشتائم. سلم لي على جماعتك وقل لهم تلمسوا رؤوسكم، الجيش الحر سيدوسكم، وأكثر من ذلك أرجاس النظام التي
recommendations. كيف هذا بتتكبر؟ كيف بدكم تحكوا؟
These recommendations are with the recommendations we bought is for the system and how should it deal with the civilians, with the citizens, with the other side. And
These are the recommendations. Number one, as a public relations professionals, we have to represent the two sides neutral. The two sides are the people who are with Bashar al-Assad and the people who are against Bashar al-Assad.
yeah, they shouldn't be under any violence, violence and under any circumstances between the parties. Finally, both are serious. We cannot just describe it as a solid potential power, because the other part is considerable, because there is a lot of individuals who shares the information with others, and we cannot just neglect and just put on hold. No, they have to sit with others. Because the third one, any arguments must be solved quietly and mutually respected without insulting offense or violation. I'm talking about the system itself and how should it receive the revolution. I'm not just judging the situation, no. I'm just putting the influence on the system and how would it behave to shape its image and how would it to continue. Because violence use is really very bloody.
So what you are, and most of you are, then most of the violence with regard to Bashar al-Assad. Now, the question is, what is your role as a public relations practitioner? Are you against what's your position now? And when you already recognize this problem, you are belong to what? You are belong to ministry, you are belong to university, you are belong to what?
Effectively, we are against the Bashar al-Assad system using violence. But what I'm trying to say is any system in the whole world should deal with let's say with the protesters neatly and
You are now a public relation. You are a professional person. And now you are just to criticize advertising and the promotional campaign being produced by Bashar al-Assad. How do you get it? Where is your position? Who are you? Both of you, who are you?
Who was better, the first question, who was better at using BR? The Free Syrian Army or the Assad regime?
no, Assad regime.
The Assad regime was better with using BR? Okay, now if you want to work as a BR, who would you work with? An Assad regime or the Syrian Army?
No, the Syrian army, of course.
The Free Army?
Yeah.
What would you do? What would be your role as a
We have to
BR
inform and to persuade people that these people are being humiliated in Syria and being killed and so much massacres. By using Al Jazeera, there's so many other facilities today, internet and yeah. I know all of these.
I want you to set a plan in order to be
To solve this problem, you mean? It's really a very big. Yeah.
the whole Syrian issue.
As we said, because
Your tactics, your
because Al-Assad has a strong relations.
Why don't you answer? I'm not just forward the question for them, for all of you. We're able to diagnose.
انتوا بس عرضتوا للقضيه ما فيش اراء على البيئه ولا الاشياء.
We have. I gave him my opinion.
Recommendations?
Opinion.
From his point of view.
I told you we are against
No,
the system.
we didn't want to show our opinions. We said that we wanted to show the public opinion.
If you were in the shoes of public relations,
I'm believing that the fight in Syria is between one family. Both sides are one family because the people who are with are Syrian and the people who are against are Syrian. And you can see that both sides love their country. And they believe that they are doing that. Like people who are with Bashar al-Assad, they believe that this contribution is paid. It's paid money to do this, or it's from outside. But people who are with Bashar al-Assad, they said that people who are they are Bashar al-Assad's dictator, and we want a democratic country.
I mean, Bashar al-Assad already put some people in his person.
He hired firms. He hired some firms, yes.
United States, and he has some people from Great Britain, and what about you? Do you think that they about the role, those people, those consultants, or what? This is as a public figure that we have to criticize. We have to play a vital role in helping and assisting him, or they just defend on some issue that
No, they help. They help. Yeah. Because now I think 50% is 50-50 who are with against Bashar al-Assad, and we can see يعني كل ما مشينا بالوقت كل ما زاد بشار الأسد.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today, inshallah, I will be talking about PR in the Gaza Community Mental Health Program. برنامج غزة للصحة النفسية. Have anyone here have ever heard about it? Can you tell me about it? What have you heard? What is it about?
I just heard about the
Anyone else? Tell me.
They are going to treat people who يعني تعرض للتروما or something
Trauma,
like this.
yes. This is true. Gaza Community Mental Health Program is a center or community center that deals with people who have been subjected to post-trauma from wars, from anything else that might affect their life. They are not mentally ill, no, but they have like problems. Like I can say that anger is a mental. Yes, it's mental problem. Like everyone in Gaza is mentally ill, but that doesn't mean they are crazy, they are stupid or something else. No, that doesn't mean they are retarded. Mentally ill is totally different than retarded people, because most people are like anger is a mental ill, like anxiety and everything else might be a mental ill. Okay, Gaza Community Mental Health Program is a non-profit organization, was founded in the 1990s, exactly 1990, and like in July, I believe so. That works in the field of mental health, human rights, and seeks to help Palestinian society reach a high level of community mental health through the provision of psychological services, social and research and training, mobilization and advocacy. What is his areas of business is the mental health and the human rights, and he works through these materials which are psychological services, social and training and mobilization for people who have been damaged or have been subjected to trauma. Okay. The vision and the mission of Gaza Community Mental Health Program, it's a Palestinian society that respects human rights and in which people live in dignity, free operation, and feel that their well-being promoted. The mission is to develop okay, Gaza, okay. Skip? I'm talking about the public relation, okay. Shall I start from here? Okay. Talking about the targeted audience for the Gaza Community Mental Health Program, it provides mental health services and social services and other abilities for people who have been damaged or post-trauma. The main target audience for them are children and women and human rights. Human rights, like if you have right or something incapable of achieving, this program helps you in overcoming this obstacle. These are the departments of the Gaza Community Mental Health Program. Public Relations Department, which is the main department that we are going to talk about, inshallah, the research and the community, and the video section, which is the media section. It's also related to PR, because once you use videos, it's a method of promoting your PR section. IT Department, Women Empowerment, and Documentation Center. Women Empowerment, it's essential because it's one of their important targeted audiences. The PRD, the Public Relation Director, supposed to be lines, okay. The Public Relation Directors divides into the Public Relation Deputy Director and the Legal Advisor, while the Deputy Director has the Advocacy and Lobbying, the Assistant, and the Amwaj Relating Magazine. Amouage magazine is used by Gaza Mental Health Community Service in order to improve the image of the company and promote the center. Public Relation Department. The Public Relation Department in general is in any organization plays an important role in improving the organization's image, means polishing the image, as Dr. Rashdi have mentioned before in the first of the semester. The public and the field of operation. The office serves as a link. The Public Relation Office in Gaza Community Mental Health Program serves as a link to other organizations and individuals, both inside and outside the local community, toward and regarding better service through cooperation and shared resources. The office also works to make organization more potent and widely known in the community in the field of large areas. Like here in Gaza, why would I use the PR for this program? Most people think that because the word mental health, think this is for crazy people. Like when I talked earlier, when I was behind K, I was talking to my colleagues. One of them said, yeah, it's for mentally ill, sick people. No, this isn't true. I use promotion and PR to tell people that this program, this is the issue, that people think it's for mentally ill people. No, it's not for mentally ill people. It's for people who are damaged or post-trauma people, that they suffer from severe injuries in their minds, but not retarded or something else. They are like sad all the time, or angry, or anxious, or something else. What?
The wars happening in our country.
Yes, it's because of the wars. I'm talking about it. The race. Should I explain this as well? Okay. The research department. Well, skip it part. I'm talking about the PR in general and the problem that the people think it's for mentally ill people. Shall I continue? I'll be fast. He who doesn't research has nothing to say. This is a quotation from a famous researcher who had it. Research plays an important role in any public relation plan. Since it's the first step in the public relation process, research plays a major role for people to know about GCMPH. Due to the prior reason, gives a good GCMHP gives a good consideration to research and tries to gather information from various channels. The PRD conducts a scientific research on psychological and social phenomena in the Palestinian society and publishes it among local and international media. Like he's searching for people who has been affected by wars and women who have been unjust to them, but treated by their husbands or families or underprivileged society in human rights. This is the main issue that GCMHB is handling. Tools and techniques are the SWOT analysis, as we know, the online database. This website is the GCMHB used by them, mainly by them, to identify and specify a local database or a global database for people who are mentally post-traumatic. At the same time, GCMHB developed a new page on the wall well known as Encyclopedia. This is part of PR to tell the world and tell the donors that there is a society and a community service center called GCMHB that helps people. This is how we are going to get donations from people. Since the Wikipedia is a very famous international website that provides data about everything in life, it was crucial for the organization to establish its own page which will provide information about everything. You can go online and search برنامج غزة للصحة النفسية and you will find everything you want. GCMHB is systematically counts everything related to the program that's mentioned in the mass media to try to measure the general media impression. Like this is the main case, that people are ill, mentally ill, and this program helps them. And we need to promote that this program is for people to. Yes, these are the main tools that they are using to solve the issue that people think they are mentally ill, and another issue that it's hard to get donations. And we are going to talk about the competitors, or compared to the competitors, they are not considered competitors because they are charity organization. You seem bored. Okay, the content analysis is one of the techniques and tools that they are using. Yes, I said systematically to mention in the mass media. They are counting the mass media, getting newspaper or journals or everything else, and know how to use it, how other competitors use it, so we can use it to tell people that we are here. Focus groups are used widely when the management decide activity or event or set new strategies. Focus group is held to utilize different opinions that could be helpful in the organization. Like when they need to conduct a new idea or conduct a new program within the program, like a small event or something else, they conduct a focus group within the people and they share the opinions and know which is the better solution, which is the better event to conduct. Surveys and questionnaires are widely used method by GC and BHB. We use surveys as a quotation from Mr. Marwan. We use surveys and questionnaires to collect data from the publics. I distribute the data and everything else is done. This is done by taking a random sample of people who are familiar with the program and who have been subjected to such program. Planning is the action plan or planning is considered one of the main tools that's used by them to go on and continue in the society. I will fast forward. Okay. When it comes to planning approach, they use the eclectic approach. This is using a different approaching and using more than one method in planning. The PR department uses a strategic planning approach as well as the management by objective, as gathering the members of the team and telling them what's the better solution, what's the best way to analyze a problem, or what's the best way to tell the people about us. As I said about the competitors, this is how they perceive or look at the competitors. According to the nature of our work, says Mr. Marwan, we may say that we are dominating the market. They are mainly like the best or the biggest community service center in the organization. This is mainly because other organization provides what? Psychological, not mental. This program is mainly mental, unlike the mental health services, but they pay attention to all other organizations and try to cooperate rather than compete because they are organizations of benefits. They don't want benefits, they only want charity work. This is what they do. They cooperate with other organizations. Program plan situation, the wrong perception in people's mind about GCMHB due to its name. People think it's related to mental illness. As I said, this is completely incorrect. Objective is to change audience ideas about the program in order to reduce the stigma. Target audience, as I said, were women, children, and human rights and elder people who are suffering. The strategy or the main way to solve the problem is to develop the mental well-being of Palestinians through delivering the right message about the program and its objective by using different tools and techniques. What are the tools and techniques we are going to talk about? Tactics like brochures. As I said, we have brochure where I distribute it to people and other. Amwaj magazine is mainly used by them. Conferences, press-related exhibitions, etc. I think 2-3 years ago they conducted, 4 years ago they conducted a conference here at IUG, I believe so. Calendar is the time duration for each activity, depends on the type of the activity. You have taken a grant schedule in OB and sales, so I'm not going to explain it. This is the way or method of organizing events and tasks through time. Budget is the budget is set, planned for a special activity, event or situation. They set the budget and at a proper price or proper time schedule, so they can use the budget and maybe have an excess budget, so they can for احتياطا. If we are faced, like this is the problem, if we are faced with a contingent situation, an urgent situation that didn't have planned for the budget, they contact the finance department to inform them about the amount of money that we need. If you have very hard urgent situation like the 8 days war, you want to conduct a program, they call the financial department, or they are going to take money from an ongoing project or a project that will be established in the later, but they are going to take its money from here. These are some of the brochures that they use to improve and polish their image. Democratia والصحة النفسية, other brochures. This is the Amwaj magazine that they are mainly using. Communication with the people is the third step in the public relation process after research and planning. It includes delivering the key message that's intended to deliver to the media. As I said, they want to say that we are not for mental illness. What? Allah, I had some messages. Yes, they delivered for like, you want literally the message? Yes, but it's in Arabic, so I believe it was our aim to improve, not to heal. Our aim to improve, not to heal. Yani, you are not mentally ill, but you are going to be improved. Communication includes delivering messages. Communication is needed both internally within the organization as well as externally. You have inside the organization people who are treated and the staff of the organization. This is the communication goals. Shall I explain it? Okay, the message exposure, the accurate dissemination, and the acceptance of the message to the audience and other people as I deliver the message, how they see and perceive the message. Attitude change and change in behavior. This is how people, after they receive the message, how they perceive the message after receiving it. The communication at GCMHB doesn't only aim to deliver a message to the intended audience, it actually aims at the people to make some kind of commitment towards the organization. How people perceive this organization, they are going to make a commitment to the organization and improve. Change in the behavior is a good care for all communication tools, use, procedure, people, or even inform them. Like, we would have training courses every while and then to inform people about popular mental health issues. I have a training course about this program to improve our PR image, like taking a group of people and a group of my students and tell them, let's go to the GCMHP. The message rely on using different sense to attract the audience, especially sight and hearing. We use radio advertisement as well as videos to deliver these messages. Also, they tend to make the message is easy for the audience because they are delivering a message to an ordinary audience, not all our high audience and people who understand. Some of constructed messages are to be communicated. The fourth step in the public relation plan, because it helps, it's an important step, yes.
The last one, we use different criteria. What are those criteria?
They haven't mentioned it. They haven't mentioned it exactly, but they say that they evaluate people after people. They have many kinds of evaluation, like evaluating the people, evaluating the employees, and evaluating messages and other stuff. For evaluating people, after giving the people the program or the training that are needed for them, they go ahead, like you have finished this program, we go ahead after a while, like in a month or 2 months, and in disguise, not directly, sometimes in disguise, sometimes directly, like usually in disguise, to see how these people, and we ask about other people from the community, how they are dealing with you, how other mental health. Yes, some people have been treated well and have been improved well, and some others needed more training and more improvement. Directly the people? I haven't met the people. I have met only Mr. Marwan. I asked them, they say they have heard about the name of the program, they haven't heard about anything else. I asked them the first day, مين سمع عن برنامج غزة للصحة النفسية قبل كده؟
ايوه سمعنا عنه.
ما هو هاي الهدف، انه انا بحكي لهم عنه، هم طلعوا مش عارفين. لما سألته قالوا لي انه عن الامراض النفسية. Yes. And these, I'm explaining the methods that I have said earlier. Yes. I'm saying that they are doing it through the media, the other radios. There are many organizations over here in Gaza that are not famous enough. They are trying to be famous, but they aren't famous enough. When, like, at the first I didn't know about it, but then someone told me about it, so I went on to know what is it. First of all, when I heard about it, I thought it was for mental illness. But then I went on to ask about it, and I interviewed Mr. Marwan. It was by the Lighthouse. And then I asked them about the program. I go hard and deep for the internet, and I asked other people who have been conducted researches about it and other stations. Let's mainly It's about the people who have been affected by wars. I was talking about it. And let's use video number 3, inshallah.
Do you think it's dangerous living here? Does it scare you?
بخافش بس وانا نستشهد احسن شيء واحد يستشهد يخش الجنه.
He's saying he'd rather be a martyr.
Yeah, rather than to live in Gaza, to get rid of the fear. الاستشهاد لسه احسن، بروح الجنه، بروح عند الله، الله يكتب له بكتب له. To go to that.
Does everybody believe that?
كيف ليش؟ كل واحد يدخل الجنه متزكي على واحد. يدخل الجنة يلقى نعيم أحسن ما يلقى.
This boy here
Yes.
is very quiet. This boy here.
إيش اسمه أحمد؟ أحمد.
Why are you so quiet?
I want to talk about this just for a minute. Just one comment is, as you see, this is the effects of war, and for children, we have to talk about the women. This is the effects of war and how people perceive the things or the stuff after the war. He is lonely. He doesn't know how to deal with people. GCMHB will be dealing with this child to improve her health, inshallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Zakaria Fayyad, and I'm going to present a case study about public relation in the Al-Aqsa Media Foundation. This case describes several issues related to public relation in the Al-Aqsa Space Channel and study its relationship with the local and the international audience public, and also its relationship with the internal staff of MLE. Let's talk about the role or the public relation in the Al-Aqsa Media Foundation, the role of the public relation practitioners. First, spreading the culture of the public. That's one of the main points that the Al-Aqsa Foundation use in order to spread between or separate between the culture via categorizing the community, via classifying the communities into different categories, like, for example, children, women's, and intellectual, illiterate, and so on. And they have a special or a specified interval for each category and each classification. Make all the staff of Al-Aqsa Foundation who are pioneers of public relations. Our staff considered are the pioneer, are the entrepreneurship of our ideas, and they are the fountain. They are the fountain of our ideas that we are going, because don't forget that our employees, even our staff, they are our publics. On touch to a global audience, we are going or trying to reach the global or international audience and became a close view or via many issues, like Nakba, for example, today, like we are going to present for a global or international community that our Nakba and how our people or were suffered and afford many pain of that issue. That's its definition of public relation from a point of Al-Aqsa Media Foundation is to make the public external and internal common in all things that Al-Aqsa Media Foundation are going to present, that to make them familiar with our programs and with our things, and that we are going to convey a message that we are the most transparent one and we are always telling the truth. Coordination of internal and external audience and receive foreign delegations and civil societies. We are going to hold many programs with external and internal, and we are sometimes talking in the voice of the civil institutions. Importance of public relation in Al-Aqsa. Skip, okay. Functions of public relation in Al-Aqsa Media Foundation. Receive the programs guests. We are going to hold a programs and receive guests and talking about many issues. Constant communication with external audiences. We are trying to make a permanent relationship with our international audiences or public, receive visitors, as we know, discuss some issues with visitors and guests. We're discussing a very issues, maybe international issues or our local issues. Gifts for the guests and local persons. No, they have many public relations because it's a media channel and have a very different things. I provide of comfort transport for tours, guests. Large role is executive, but have advisory role and have advisory link with other organizations. Okay. Interests in activities involving the public directly. We are going to present something directing the public and maybe benefit for our public. Work courses and work programs for officials to discuss public issues, as we mentioned. Workshops with the public. We are going to make some workshops with our public in order to know their views and in order to see or to diagnose how they are perceive us and perceive our exercising the ground. Visits to the public organization. We are going to visit public organizations and do many cases. Care and organize of many events, e.g., for example, media sponsor for the celebration of the University College of Applied Sciences. We are going to sponsor many celebrations or ceremonies, etc. Organize of hangout for each department every 6 months related to the structure of the channel. Organize evening smart entertainment for the staff, select the staff, because to make them familiar with our work. Breakfast staff work in Ramadan. The most prominent public relationships or relations activities in Al-Aqsa Foundation in the media during 2011-2012 action campaign. They are going to present action campaign to take driver's license with a discount in the price for drivers, and in order to encourage people in order to license their vehicles and etc. Work of the staff discount. Yani here we are going to, because let us say that the media or that channel is the formal spoker or the formal voice of the government. So they are going to present these campaigns in order to encourage drivers in order to license their auto cars or mobiles. Work of the staff discount to buy food products from some of the shops. That's related to our staff and provide them with many facilities in order to be loyal for our work. The obstacles, let's talk about the obstacles that face the channel, as well as some external factors sometimes be an obstacle in the development of relationship with the public outside. Some cases, the direct transmission section in a particular event occurs with the public and emergency event last broadcast space needs urgent. That this situation is one of the most important obstacles that confront us. Sometimes we have external obstacles, we have external threats like war, or in the recent war, that's the bombing, or they bombed our towers of radiation. Yes, our towers of radiation, and that's obstacle, and we have a solution and the plans in order to overcome this situation or this issue. The solution contingency plan to deal with risk situations, such we have a moving bus that send the signals to the channels. Contingency plan to deal with risk situations such as the threats of bombing from space. This plan's work. The wave of live broadcast is open to reveal such threats. Days as well as the 2009 war was the alternative plan is to manage the staff of radio and TV through a website controls that space management. We are going to manage our staff in order to adapt with such situation and in order to be on air or continuing on air and no intersection. That's it.
Today, inshallah, we're going to explain a case from our internal environment, from our university. We go to the public relation department in the university, and we told them what they have problems in the university, as they at the public relation department, how they can solve it. They told us they have a problem in communication between the administration and the student in the IUG in our university. The problem is about how the student can complain his own problem and how can reach the problem to the man who is responsible for solve the problems. So we can see now what the university do and what is their plan and what is this activity and how they can deal with this activity and how they can satisfy the students. Good. So executive summary, the location is the Islamic University of Gaza, our university. The plan is enhance and develop the communication between the administration and the student and in the university to receive the compliments from the students by using the internet. So today we can use the internet, the university website, to send any problem to the university. Now you will know how we can use the internet, how we can use this media to send the problem. A communication process. So the problem is about communication process between the students and the university. The communication process, their plan is about to facilitate the communication process between the students and the administration. The public relation department established a new communication tool that every student can reach it by one click simply, faster and privacy without low cost. So the university now using a good tool by using the internet, they totally shifted the traditional way, the classical way that you go to the doctor office and write for him a paper and you will wait a lot of time or you wait like a week to receive the answer from the doctor or from the administration. So they use internet tool, they use the university website. So every student can reach it by one click, faster and privacy with low cost. The background, our mission statement, to give the chance for each student to express his or her opinion and the problems. So anyone simply and faster can express his opinion, his problem to the administration. Our vision to keep in touch with the students. We deal in the university, you must know that the university deal with the student as a customer because they have another competitors. We have the Azhar University. So we can facilitate how we can deal with the problems in the university. So we must keep in touch with the student because we can consider them as a customer. The values, we care about the communication. We care about communicate with our students to maintain the trust between each other.
Is that your missions or their missions?
Not their mission. Yeah. By the way, يعني إنه ما كانش عندهم إنه كتير إنه كلام زي هيك. فإحنا معظم الكلام إحنا جبناه من راسنا. Yeah. The AUG restored to this plan because there is a consistency increasing in the number of the student. Each year we have increasing in the number of the student. So the amount of the problems and the complaints directly increase. So at the same time we have increasing in the problems that the student may face it. Situation analysis and message statement. The major issues we take in our consideration is how to deal with the various problems and how to solve it fast as we can to satisfy the student and make him comfortable. The plan major idea to create an effective tools of communication with the student to build a good relationship between the students and the administrative.
To continue, the main audience of this plan of this plan is the student who are studying in Islamic University of Gaza. The key message is we give the chance for each student to express his or her opinion and problems in an easy and effective way. The implementation, how we can use this new communication tool At the first, the student will open the IEG website and then select the complaints box icon, which is also called the فضفضة. And then he or she must register his or her username and password to log in the account. Then he will write he will write the problem or the complaint, and after this, the first image is the icon of complaint box on the website of the university. The second stage is to register your username and password. The third step is to write your problem or write your complaint and send it to the department you want to send for them. The budget allocated to this plan is very low because the website is owned by Islamic University of Gaza. The developers are working in IEG of Gaza, Islamic University of Gaza in the IT department, and they advertise the plan through the website. The main goal of this plan is to build a relationship with the students and increase the level of satisfaction. So the IUG can measure this campaign depending on the level of students' satisfaction and their interaction.
I want to talk about my public relation plan, which is about rationalization of water consumption in Gaza Strip. My name is Hani Adel Abu Hashish. I want to talk about my plan, which is about rationalization of water consumption in Gaza Strip. As God says, وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي. This plan, this plan is prepared by the Public Relations Department of Coastal Municipalities Water Utility. هي مصلحة مياه بلدية الساحل. Everyone of us, I know what is CMWC. Coastal Municipalities Water Utility is an institution. It's responsible for water distribution in Gaza areas, provide safe and clean water services and environmental friendly water waste services to the residents of Gaza Strip. Through لا مش كله. This is the executive summary. I want to talk the problem. The problem is the water crisis. All of us know that the water crisis is a global crisis, but this crisis increasing, especially in Palestinian areas and especially in Gaza Strip, because number of reasons. The main reason is Israeli occupation, and other reasons lack of water in Gaza Strip. The program goal, the overall objective of this campaign is to increase the awareness of Gaza citizens to rationalize the water consumption in Gaza Strip. The target audiences, we have primary and secondary and tertiary audiences. The primary audiences is Gazan people in Gaza Strip. We want from them to change their behavior in consuming water, because it's it's a good resource to the survival of each person in Gaza Strip. The secondary audience, who are the effective persons in the community, the heads of the municipalities, and those persons who have direct deal with people, and they can affect, and they can be a link between us and our primary audience. The tertiary audience, the saving environment institutions and the students' councils and associations and local municipalities. Audience objectives, what we expect our audience to do. Our primary audience should rationalize the water consumption and increase their awareness and change their behavior in consuming water. Our interviewing audience or secondary audience to do is to take their effective role in achieving our main goal, which is rationalizing water consumption. The tertiary audience, we expect them to do as to be a part of this campaign as CMWU, which is Coastal Municipality Water Utility. Major strategy, we choose the interactive strategy to share others in solving the problem, which is lack of water in Gaza Strip. and the main goal is rationalizing water consumption, share the responsibility among citizens. We want every citizen to be responsible in consuming water, and we want to satisfy all people by providing the necessary quantities of clean water as a right of each citizen in Gaza Strip. And we have a lot of strategies, and we want to activate the role of the government and the municipalities to take their responsibilities to ensure reach the water for all the citizens, as I said, as the right of every citizen in Gaza Strip to reach the water. The tactics, we have many tactics to achieve our campaign. Make brochures carrying the aims of the campaign, and make public meetings in different areas, and make TV and radio series and with real stories in Gaza Strip, and workshops in universities and NGOs, and we have lectures in schools to inform students by their role in the campaign. We want to inform every citizen about his role in this campaign. Everyone is responsible. Everyone should take his responsibility and should be care when consume every drop of water. And we have slogans in streets and public areas. Recommended budget. The total budget for this campaign will be presented in detail in this special report. The evaluation will be according to the objectives of the campaign. We will talk about it. The situation analysis. The situation we want to analyze the situation in Gaza Strip. As I said, we have main problem in water in Gaza Strip. We have lack of water. We have polluted water, especially drinking water. Gaza Strip is one of the semi-arid area where rainfall is falling in the winter. Just we know the rain just in winter, and this minimizes the quantity of water. Okay. The problem and consequences. We talked about the problem. We have the campaign goal. As I said, the main goal of our campaign is to increase the awareness among citizens about the current situation of water. Of course, the citizens blame the CMWU, blame the utility about its role. They are responsible for cut shortage, and they are responsible for water cutting among a huge number of citizens, especially in the south areas. And we want to defend the image of the utility, to inform people by their role, by their responsibility. Everyone is responsible. We want to share responsibility among all citizens, not the utility just have the responsibility of cut water. Audience identification and message. As I said, the primary audience, our message to the primary audience. Okay. The objectives, also I talked about it in the executive summary.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Muhammad Surur and my friend is Ma'as. Our study subject today is about Ma'as. لا تقلقش. The effectiveness and the efficiency of public relation department in the business organization in Gaza, and especially, and we make our study about Fusion Company. The idea of this paper revolves around how Fusion Company uses public relation activities to influence its target customers, and up to what extent the public relation activities can help this organization, Fusion Company, to achieve the entire objectives of the whole organization. It was established in 2002, and as all of us know, for communication system and the internet, it is an international deal with international sector in the world. Services, internet service, voice over IP, and Fusion vehicle system and other wireless network services. Now, Fusion main interest customers, IOG, Al-Aqsa University and other institutions, and there is a hint here. Most of their services are provided for institutions, not individual, and we will analyze this matter later on. Now, when we want to talk about public relation activities, the first thing will come to our mind is race. research, action, communication, and evaluation. Research. They use surveys distributed on the institution that they deal with in order to check whether they care and satisfied of their services or not. They don't use the research in this effective way because they believe that they aren't in deeply need for it. Yeah, what that means? They use surveys only for the institutions they deal with. For current customer, they don't seek to target. They don't seek to target a new customer and build a new relations with a new customer. The purpose of this service is not to create, as I said, awareness between the public about fusion. They only focus on how to maintain and strong relationship with current customer. They don't exert this hard effort in research to create a new customers because they don't survey the needs of others. From the beginning, they don't survey the needs of the individuals as individual. They also focus on the needs of an institution. They make an agreement with the institution and they consider them the policy of the organization of fusion. They consider these institutions as the target customer, the main target customer. Yes, but the last 2 years they start to, yes, but not in this effective way. There is no researches specialized with customer individuals. Just we can say a few number of individuals from the market. By the way, they don't have a public relation department in the organization. So I met Mr. Rami Mcdad, the sales manager, and he said that the last 2 years they start to focus on the individuals as individuals. Okay. Now let's talk about action. When we talk about action, we will talk about planning, plans, and also a systematic way for organization from planning for achieving its goal. Before talking about the plans undertaken by the fusion, we will talk about its main goals. The first one is to increase their sales, and the second one to create a good image about fusion and increase the public awareness about fusion. And I think, from my personal opinion, they don't care about the second goal. It's just a written one. And I said that for Mr. Rami, you are focused on the first one, which is increasing your sales, and you don't make any activities, social activities, for the individual to establish a good, clear image about the organization. In a fusion company, they believe that public relation is a mere tool to achieve the goals, not a goal to pursue. They believe that the public relation is just a tool under the marketing department to achieve the marketing department objectives. They don't have a plan objectives for the public relation department. They don't have a goal for public relation to pursue. It's just a tool for marketing, and they use it with marketing, not a special department or a special manager or a special staff for public relation.
I will continue the rest of this race model, communication inside the fusion company. And during our analysis of how much this institution aware about its public opinion, we noticed there is a gap between the company and the variety of the Palestinian youth. As my friend said that they focus on an institution, not on individuals. As you know that the fusion company provides the internet services for many institutions, not individuals. They do not care this much about public relations and its activities, and they consider it as a mere part of marketing department. Fusion company do not have plans for public relations activities. They do not have a distinct department for public relations, and the activities that they undertake are planned for the purpose or the event separately and for its time. It starts to inform the public about this service by using of a channel including radio, journalist, street banner, website. Since the establishment of the company, it adapts website to inform the customer about the services. This is the title. Evaluation.
We have other tools. We have their own Facebook and they are sending messages and they are receiving.
Yes.
They are measuring their performance and they have what we call CRM, customer relation management system.
They have a Facebook team. Make polls. According to a questionnaire designed and conducted by the team members on Facebook to check the level of publicity of Fusion, we discovered that Fusion suffering from low level of publicity in the market. Many people do not even know about their existence, and a portion of people do not know the nature of their work. They just remember as a name of company in the market. Over the multi-channel that used by Fusion company to deliver its message to the public, adapt the reputation way to ensure that a wide range of public was seen or even heard about the company, and the gatekeeper always want to be sure that all the message in the advertisement are understandable, simplicity and not too complex. By using the social network Facebook to apply a simple poll, the result was 22 of 58 they just heard about Fusion company, and these 22 maybe they do not know the nature of their works. The components of public relations available in Fusion company. Counseling. Fusion use many consultants from outside the company, including university professors and expertise, to provide them with advices concerning policy establishment and so on. Research. They conduct several surveys to determine the attitudes and the behaviors of the public. What?
You said they don't have a public relation and they are not conducting research, and now you said they are conducting.
بس مع المؤسسات هم مع الأفراد لا. مع المؤسسات بيعملوا ريسيرشز وبيعملوا نشاطات public relation، بس على الأفراد لا بيركزوش على individuals. Special events, they participate in many activities designed to interact with the public, such as the exhibition, and recently they participated in the engineering technological exhibition in Islamic University. Industrial relations, Fusion a member in Beta, and it is a union of information systems companies, consist of 30 members. Community relations, they maintain a good relation with the local community, including the universities and institutions. Government affairs, Fusion company has a good relation with the governmental entities based on the respect and the commitment of rules and regulations. In addition to that, Fusion is considered to be a main provider of the net services to those ministries. Marketing communication, they have a combination of activities designed to sell their products, services and reputation, and that's done through many conferences and exhibitions. They participate yearly in exotic exhibition. Employee relations, they care of their employees' needs and they motivate them continuously to ensure a high level of performance and job satisfaction. They give the employees gifts and financial premiums in special occasions. These media relations, they work with many local mass media channels in Gaza and West Bank, seeking the publicity. Multicultural relations, they have an international relations with many international companies working in Turkey, Germany.
I want to talk about small thing finally. They have SWOT analysis. They make their plan and strategies according to SWOT, but I don't want to talk about it in details. You know, opportunities and the threats and something like that. But here, there is the budget specified for public relation activities. There is $3,000 for marketing and public relation and public activities together. You said that they have some activities, but I think from my meeting with him, they try to get away from taking this responsibility of making a special department of public relations by making some activities such as 3 teams for institution and some researches and something like that. And finally, how the public relation can benefit that. If I said to him, if I am your competitors, I will work deeply on public relation department and I can compete you. Because they have a weakness point in having a public relation, a special public relation activities.